With Sam Billings smashing his maiden championship 100 and Ben Harmison coming close to recording the best score of his career, Kent raced to a thumping innings and 207-run LV County Championship victory on the penultimate day of the game with Essex at Tunbridge Wells. Kent had a great second day and came out on the third morning with the board telling them that they had 420 runs for the loss of 4 wickets, which already had them 160 runs ahead, and 17 more were added to that. Before, after 7 overs, Darren Stevens was out to Jamie Porter, having added 7 to his overnight tally of 69. Essex would have hoped that that early success would help them start a day off much better than the last couple, but that did not happen, with Billings in to join Harmison. Both made steady progress through the first hour of the day. After all, with so much time left in this match, there was no real need to hurry, although Harmison rarely missed out on anything hittable. And that had him at 3 figures for the 7th time in his first-class career of his 196th delivery. He'd started the morning on 63, and his 100 was completed with his 16th boundary. For someone who's failed to nail down a place in this team, this was a very pleasing innings, and one he would have been thrilled with. Billings himself missed out on a first century in the Championship last week, when he was out 1 run short in the defeat at the Oval against Surrey. That disappointment was put behind him as he became the latest of all the Kent batsmen to make an encouraging start to his innings. He cleared the rope off Ravi Patel shortly after his side had reached 500 with only 5 men back in the hutch. How the home team were loving their trip to the delightful Neville ground. In 27 overs before lunch, Kent smashed 117 runs, although they did lose Harmison for 123 just before the break, caught by David Masters off Ravi Bopara, just 2 away from his career best. He'd added 99 runs with Billings for the 6th wicket to have Kent 276 runs ahead, but on they batted, with Billings hitting his 6th 4 to get to another half-century of 69 balls. He was then left out there by his captain to see if he could go one better than last week. Once again, he was well backed up for a while by Calum Haggett, who stuck it out with his partner for 15 overs, in which 73 more runs were added. Then, as more quick runs were sought, 2 wickets fell in the same Bopara over. Haggett gave Ryan Tenduscarter some work as he went for 28, while James Treadwell had just made a single when he was out, with Billings needing just 10 more runs to reach his magic moment. And this was it. A single off Tom Westley, taking him to 3 figures for the 2nd time in his first-class career, but for the first time for his county and his first in Championship cricket. It will not be his last either. He'd used up only 113 balls to get there and had struck 10 fours and 1 6. Mitch Claydon also cleared the rope next ball, and then the declaration finally arrived, with Kent on 633 for 8, their highest ever total on home soil. And that had them 373 runs ahead, and only 1 run had been knocked off that when Nick Brown gave Matt Hunn a wicket with his very first ball of the 2nd innings, Joe Denley with a catch in the gully. It was a start from which an exhausted Essex never recovered, Hunn striking again in his 3rd over, disturbing the stumps of Jake Mickleborough, who was out for 9. And when Haggett grabbed the ball and had Bopara held by Sam Northeast with his 2nd delivery, the visitors were in serious trouble on 31 for 3. Whatever Northeast did, it worked. When Treadwell came on, he was also successful in his first over, as Jesse Ryder was out for 29 at 66 for 4, a total which became 68 for 5 after tea, when Wesley was taken behind after making 22. Essex were looking at a massive defeat against their closest neighbours and rivals. James Foster and Tenduscarter threatened a recovery, with the occasional big shot brought out to try to relieve the pressure. But just after the 100 was reached, Tenduscarter, who'd made 27, was trapped in front by Stevens, the batsman the latest to make a start and then get out. That was in contrast to the Kent innings, where only one of the top 7 didn't make at least a 50, and that was Northeast with his 43. Now could Foster or Graham Napier alter the trend of this innings? No was the answer to that. Hunn grabbed his 3rd wicket to remove Foster for 24, Treadwell with the smart catch, and it was 4 for the young bowler a couple of overs later as Masters fell for 8. Haggett and Hunn were working really well in partnership together, and the former had his third wicket of the innings when Porter was LBW, and the game was all over when Harmison ended a fine day for him with the catch to remove Patel for a duck. While Kent had batted for 144 overs, their opponents lasted only 44, as they were all out for 166. Napier left stranded with a top score of 35. Haggett took 4 for 43 and Hunn 4 for 47, as Kent took this game by an innings and 207 runs, for which they claimed 24 points to move them clear of the bottom of the table. Essex picked up only 3 points, and any vague hopes they had of winning promotion this year have now surely evaporated.